Hello everyone, Nordic Beast here, and welcome back to the Niddserver. If you hear any noise in the background, it's my lovely wife right next to me.
Hi!
So anyway, I figured I'd show you guys what I've been working on the last day or so. So this is Nordic's Noodle Base. Apparently Mir does not much like that name, but from my understanding, the rule in the Niddserver is whatever you name something first is its actual name. So when I named it Nordic's Noodle Base, because they named the giant tower that was here the Noodle, they decided, yeah, it's going to stay that name. So this is pretty much the remnants of the Noodle, is right here, which I'm going to keep just as is, but I put a couple of little towers around it just to make sure that it's held onto this asteroid. And to further explain, I know I said this in my last video, but something was up with having so many blocks built from, you know, the surface of the world all the way up to here. So it was just easier to remove it. Now, it was dangling here. There is still some of it left, and I kind of cut it off and let it fall. I will eventually remove it myself, but... so the idea is, my big old base here is going to be kind of like a trading center. This is all storage, this massive hangar you see here. It's all vanilla parts, by the way. This is basically going to be a landing area for small ships. If you got some small ships that need docking, you can dock it in here. I may or may not add connectors to the floor. We'll see. Just because everybody has different connector styles, so all the connectors might end up being external. We'll see. So, which, as you see, is still quite heavily under construction here. These will all be windows. So I wanted to just window this up like crazy. So once this thing is done, this will have quite a view. Anyway, it runs off one large reactor. These two containers here were Sal's originally. This medbay and cryopod are temporary until I can move everything over to here. This will be the housing area. And this is like a utility docking area. All the actual docking space will come down underneath the station, since there's plenty of room down here, and it's still outside the gravity well. So large ships can come and dock here, and I'll have all the different docking arrangements for everybody. Like Sal just, at the moment, seems to be just using the connector, but a lot of the time she'll use a connector, or I'm sorry, a merge block with just the connector tube, or conveyor tube, I'm sorry. So I'll probably have a few of those, and then Boris uses one where it's like a connector and then an empty space and then a merge block. So I'll have a couple of those and then just connectors. For me, I'm just going to have the connectors, just dock, and then you go land your ship elsewhere. You don't have to stay connected all the time. Which, by the way, the space butt was up there. I pulled it down here. I actually took it out to do a little bit of mining, so I'm in the middle of mining. Next thing I realize, there's already a shit ton of ore in here, so I think Sal or Mir had already taken it out. And the idea is, like I said, this is going to be kind of like a storage trading area. So there's 4 large containers. I'll probably add some more. And then there's 4 oxygen. Yeah, 4 oxygen tanks. I'll probably add more there. There's 3 hydrogen tanks, so I can fill people's hydrogen, and of course there'll probably be plenty of stuff supplied up. I know that's not like a massive amount so far. I just wanted to get enough to get this thing up and running. So technically this place is functional, except for I can't really dock anything. Oh, by the way, the reason there's a big chunk missing here is one of Wanda's welders broke off. This one here is blown off twice, and Mir decided to rename everything in my ship. Yeah, thanks, Mir. There we go. Which was really confusing the first time I flew this afterwards, trying to figure out what was what, because not only did he rename everything, but he, not only did he put, the WTW, but, main reactor instead of large reactor. So at one point I was trying to find the large reactor. I'm like, what the hell did he name the large reactor? Now, for the most part, the WTW part, pretty good. Thank you, Mir. The rest of it, no. Stop renaming stuff. Go rename Sal's stuff. Drive her crazy with it. The only thing I changed back, though, was the antenna. And I guess this is for Mir. I like it to say antenna, because it's an antenna. It can have the name on there so you know what the antenna is attached to, but it helps to understand whether that's a beacon or an antenna or what. So I like it to say antenna. Alright, so anyway, back to the station. This will be a floor here, so this will actually be 2 floors, and then it'll be able to lead out into the main hangar out here. The bottom floor here will probably be like my personal space, and then up here, this floor will be like a visitor center. Like it'll have a med bay, cryopods, and I'll probably decorate it at some point because. Come on, let's go G menu. Come on, you were supposed to be sped up. There we go. Yeah, we got all kinds of decorative mods, so I guess I give my hand at that. I'm so used to using vanilla nowadays, and yeah. So that's pretty much about it for the station. Now, I'm actually thinking about adding a shipyard on here eventually, like I did in the last Niddserver, only I'm thinking about making it kind of like Anubis' shipyard, which was a big wall of connectors, and you could pull something, a projection through to weld it. I think that was a very viable design. I don't know, maybe I could have like a conveyor tube coming up out of here, and then up here, and then have the projection welder unit up here. So I figure that might actually work. So now I did build one of my Z-Gubs, but it didn't fly very well on the moon with just a single downward thruster. So this is my redesign, which is kind of hard to see. Here, sorry, Wanda. Let's go ahead and shut you off. Or well, shut. There we go. Now you can see the projection a little bit better. So this is like my redesigned Z-Gub. It's a little bit better for use on the moon, since it's got the two downward thrusters there. And it needed a little bit more power, so the cargo containers were removed. I added an extra reactor, and then of course I had to add an ejector so I could actually connect to it. And then back here is where I put the cargo container. This one does not have a timer or the programmable block or the LCD, but the idea is this is just kind of my scout. It has an ore detector back here, and it's just a personal transport, and I can scout out ore with it. That's the basic idea. And it'd be kind of nice to, instead of grabbing Wanda for everything, to have something to move around in. So next up, let's go projector blueprints. I've been working on a few things. If you guys remember in the last server, we were having a problem with cargo ships, which that's not an issue now. I don't think we have pirates turned on, but can we try that again? There we go. Right here, the Nidful, or well, the Nidfire was my original design for a fighter in the Nid. The Nidful was like my fully polished design of it. I went with basically the naming system of the British Spitfire. There's the Spitfire. Its successor was the Spitful. So I went Nidfire, Nidful. But this here will be my small ship transport, which I can actually show you. It's my Svard, which I showed in a recent video, one of my shipyard videos. And this thing, it handles in space and in atmosphere so well, and it has a cockpit on either side, full oxygen. It's got an oxygen generator on top, bridge block so you can add stuff to it, and it has a medium cargo container inside. The only issue is trying to get to any of the supplies inside, but otherwise this thing would actually work really, really well. So at least I'll have a vehicle for being able to get down to the surface whenever I need to, and then back up into space or up to the moon or whatever, wherever the hell I am. Yeah, so, which, I mean, that's quite a distance. Let's see. Okay, so it's about 100,000 kilometers. I mean, that's probably a good 15 minutes a distance, but that's on that side of the planet. Which, come to think of it, I don't know where the actual ground base is now. There's the tower. I should probably find that out at some point. But anyway, that's what I've been working on, so I guess I will come back when I have more finished. Which, I'm hoping to get this base done by, before the end of the weekend at some point. There's just so much to it. And then I would like to get my two little ships up and running. So, at least, well, you know what? I might not even build the Z-Gub, come to think of it. Maybe I'll just build this thing to save some space. I mean, granted, the Z-Gub doesn't take up much space, but this thing's far more useful. Maybe I'll just add on an ore detector. Yeah. Alright, so I'll be back. So the Svard is done. I just have to cut it loose and rename it. There we go. Let's shut off the projector. Boop. There we go. Alright. Where's the... Oh, look at that. So I don't think this thing can land on the moon at the moment. But I will probably make some alterations to add some extra thrusters so it can. Because it does kind of make me sad that my closest landing point I can't even go down to. Yeah, maneuvering-wise, it's a little sluggish. It's far better in atmosphere than it is down here. But now, I actually have something that can get me down to the planet if I want. Or if we ever end up visiting the Mars world or the alien world, I have something that can drop me down there. Yeah, this thing's... I love this ship. Ship's awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and rename it. Mir, no touchy. No touchy, no renamey. Because my wife is laughing at that. There you go. Svard Scout. That'll work. Yeah. That's a lot better than small ship, yada yada yada. Alright, so I might take a break from the station for a little bit just because it can get quite daunting. Who knows, maybe I'll fly down to the planet real quick. Even though that's not really real quick. Probably take me half an hour just to get down there and then come back. But it could be worth it. Oh, too bad that's where the original base was. Too bad it's on the dark side right now. Wouldn't mind going down there. I hate landing on the dark side of worlds. Right now, night flying is not very good in this game. Alright, so I'll come back. Okay, so I think this test flight might actually have a mission. And I'm going to land right... Oop, still too much. Right there. There's a lake right on the edge of the Arctic Circle around Planet Salty. What a great name. And I think whenever I do eventually make like a ground base, or at least like, I think I'll make myself like a little house right here. Which I've actually been working on. Well, if you guys watch my shipyard episodes, you've seen my basic housing unit thing. I made a more recent one that it's not as capable, but it would be much smaller, lighter, cheaper, runs on a battery and solar panels, and you can put it down with a merge block. So all you'd have to do is put down a base block, build a merge block next to it in the ground, and then you could drop it down and attach it via merge block. And you could put a house pretty much anywhere that way. Especially just build them in orbit and get a transport to drop them down. But anyway, enough about that. I'll be back. So that was a little bit odd. Take off my faceplate and I start to die. So, this isn't quite the lake I had been looking for, but it's quite nice. There's a lake over there, there's a lake down here, and this nice little mountain range in between. It's quite pretty. I might make myself a house down here eventually. Maybe over there on that mountain peak right there. I like it. So, I think I'm going to name that mountain, because that's the biggest mountain around. And, if you guys watched, Anubis and Boris's, Weapons of Mass Derpiness, we talked about this before. And that's, the Fist of God. So that there will be the new Fist of God, because it is the tallest mountain around. If you guys have never read the original Ring World, I suggest you do. Totally worth it, and that's what that is from. It's literally from a, think of Halo, the actual rings in Halo, which was stolen. What? Why am I getting no oxygen there? That's so weird. Anyway, yeah, think of the rings of Halo. They stole that from Ring World. It was this giant world that would be like the circumference of the orbit of Earth as a giant ring around a star. And this material that they used was extremely powerful, or extremely strong, and yet an asteroid was still able to puncture through it and cause this giant mountain that would be thousands of miles tall. But, yeah, so there we go, Fist of God. Maybe I'll go land on Fist of God. I will make a waypoint, and I'll give it to everybody who's on the server so they can come and visit, especially for Anubis. I think Anubis would like that. So, I don't know, I think this might be a good point to end the episode for now. And next episode, I'll probably be exploring the planet a little bit, and then I will go finish my space station. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, hit the like button. I'll see you guys next time.